States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any amendments to the agenda? Good. All right. The mayor's report. First of all, Happy New Year. It's going to be a great year for Lindsborg. And a special thank you to the 150th Anniversary Committee, who had their big beginning last week, and a great party at the Sunstrom. And so look online at their, what's the website?
Lindsborg150th.com.
Lots of activities, lots of ways that people in the community and that don't live here can participate. And there's a lot of requests for memorabilia, remembering stories, remembering pictures, and that kind of thing. So I hope everybody will kind of get excited about this. It's going to be a great year for us. Also want to say a special recognition to Carla Wilson, a resident of Lindsborg. She was the designer and the artist who painted the newest dollar horse. I think Legacy, is that the name? Legacy. Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. So congratulations to Carla for that. As far as things coming up this next couple of weeks, this Friday is Maker Street. This event happens on the second Friday of each month, and artists, not just in our galleries, but also in many of our shops, we'll find them there doing their work, and some have opportunities for you to take part in that as well. So that is this Friday. Also, January 17th, I haven't seen this advertised very much, but there is the community prayer breakfast. Anyway, it used to be called the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, but I think it's called the community. Anyway, I'm giving a prayer. Okay, just a minute. So it's going to be at Bethany Lutheran Church at 7 a.m. Everybody is invited. So it's just not on any calendar. So there you go. One other new event for Lindsborg on the 26th of this month. It's going to be a Swedish luau. This will be a first, I'm sure, for Lindsborg. So look for the craziness that comes out of our ad hoc committee to do another fun event for our community. And so finally, I do want to say a special welcome to Representative Stephen Johnson, who was here meeting with our council prior to this meeting, discussing what is coming up in the legislative session. So again, thank you very much for being here with us, Stephen. Thank you. All right. Anybody else have any announcements about any upcoming events? All right. Do I hear approval for the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second. Question?
Yes.
There's a typo, and I don't know at what stage we do that, if we've already got,
Okay.
it was just, the word stage was used where it should be stage in the paragraph that's talking about the community stage.
Okay.
I should have.
In the minutes from last month.
In the minutes from last month. Oh.
I remember that.
I'm trying to find where it is.
What page?
It references the city of Lindsborg to own the state.
I think that's why it caught my
I think that's just maybe a little bit overreached.
See what we can do with it. See what we can
Otherwise, I have no issues with the consent agenda.
That will be corrected in the official minutes.
Thank you for finding that. So,
This was, you did have a second, right?
Yes.
Okay. Roxy. Rick,
Yes.
Jody, yes. Blaine,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Consent agenda was approved. Are there any appointments?
No appointments.
No appointments. Planning and zoning, Gary.
No report.
Okay. Is there any old business?
No business.
Okay. What is zipping right through this? You might make the Clemson, wherever it was, Clemson, Alabama football.
That's about sports betting.
Corey's not even here.
All right, let's go to the new business, the dog park fence.
The organizers raising money from private donations have exceeded the level to build the second phase of fencing at the dog park. And because it is supported by the city council, the city of Lindsborg, I bring to you the request for a change order to build the fence. So I'm asking for a motion to approve phase 2 fence construction.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the next phase of the dog park.
Excuse me, the motion should actually reflect the amount that's going to be spent.
Gary, do you know coverage?
$8,647
I'd like to
for
make,
phase 2.
do you want me to withdraw the first motion or amend the motion, or what do I need to do?
Amend with the consent of the second is fine.
Who's the second?
Me?
Is that all right with you, James?
Sure.
Okay, I'd like to amend the motion to include the cost of $8,647.
Moved and seconded to approve $8,647 for the next phase of the dog park. All those in favor? No.
Roll call.
Roll call. Thank you. Rick,
Yes.
Jody, yes. Blaine,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
and David.
Yes.
That motion does pass.
Thank you.
Dog park application support.
Organizers are planning to submit a bid, grant application later this week to the Lindsborg DN Fund for funding of the balance of the dog park that was presented to you in previous sessions in the summer of 2018. It's roughly a net grant application of around $30,000 for various items, benches, shade structures, pergolas. It was presented to you, like I say, last summer, and this would build the whole thing out if funded by the grantor, sorry. I bring this to you because the council, because the city will be responsible for maintenance of the facility, will basically take ownership of all of this gear and service it in perpetuity, so you need to approve that. Also, the writers of the grant will use the city as a help me, Greg, as a
They'll supply the FEI.
yeah,
Better.
will be the signatory base of the application.
So, let me ask a question then. So all of the planning and the suggestions that they're making on additions, benches, and all this kind of stuff, has this body approved all of that?
I know we would be doing that now.
But we don't know what, I mean, do we have a design? Do we see, where do we become involved in that?
Actually, that's a good question. Again, it was, we got a presentation last summer for the elements that are in this current grant application, but you make a good point. I'm not presenting those elements specifically to you at this time. I'm in general saying that pergolas, shelters, I can give you an informal description, but I don't have a formal, I don't have a grant application in hand.
Okay, so what we are approving then is the support of your application.
Yes.
And then if they do get funded and go on from there, then we'll,
Well, you'll have to approve those
those
expenses
expenses as they
on
come.
an item-by-item basis.
All right,
Not unlike the fence now.
okay. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve this application?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve this application. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Okay. Reggie?
Hello. So I have Under Sheriff Christians here with me from the Person Sheriff's Department, so that when I have that baffled look on my face when he asks questions, this guy will be able to answer them, hopefully. We're looking at a records management software program for the police department. We're looking at Smart Cop and also looking at a sub-license with Smart Cop through the Sheriff's Department. The software program that they're going to would allow us to merge records and communicate to each other that way. So we would have a records management program, and it would also have the ability to send all the reports in to the state that we're doing now, so. And at a pretty reduced cost, considering what it would cost without the sub-license. We have $15,000 budgeted for this year for this purchase, and we were able to get the Smart Cop records management software for a price of $6,400. But that will also entail a maintenance technical support cost every year, which would be around $1,400. I think there's a percentage increase every year, but right around now. So I guess I'm asking for approval of the purchase of the Smart Cop records management software to include the annual maintenance, installation, and training at a total cost of $6,400.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion.
I've got a question. To get the system through Smart Cop at a cost of $6,400, this will require $1,400 per year in cost for annual maintenance and technical support. So is it actually $7,800?
No, that's
That $6,400 includes that $1,400. Okay,
That's correct.
thank you.
Any other comments?
Chief, will this system you're putting in allow you and the Sheriff's Department to run driver's license, run license plates and stuff for vehicles you stop?
It won't actually, the software itself is not designed for OpenBox, is what you use whenever you go through to run a tag or a license. This is not OpenBox, this is strictly just a remote report management software system. We're being able, with the Sheriff's Office, we've had software for our jail since 1999. We're able to give you guys the ability to access all that person data information for anybody who's ever came into our facility since 1999 present. So we actually have what they call Jail Tracker right now, which is a Caliber Safety Corporation, which is what Smart Cop is off of too. So they're sister companies. So that's how we kind of picked Smart Cop in the beginning. Our dispatch also uses Interact. Interact is a product of Caliber Safety, which is the same thing as Smart Cop. So if you want to expand to that later and do mobile data terminals in your vehicles, such as your laptops, you'll be able to expand that system based on this software.
Steve's not just a straight face.
But this software isn't really something that they would be able to use mobile. They have to.
Not at this time until you actually get a computer inside the vehicle. This software, though, the nice thing about this is with us hosting it and then subleasing, you guys reduce the amount of cost that it would take to actually purchase and install the software. You guys are basically, I'm paying all the upfront costs. You guys are benefiting by getting the sub-license fee. I'm doing this also with the city of Mountain Ridge, and I'm also doing this with the city of Canton, and we're hoping that that probably, Inman's probably gonna get on board, and most of the other small cities in our county are gonna probably jump on too. The police department in McPherson already runs Interact, which like I said is a sister company of Smart Cop. They're both made by Caliber Safety Products, so it should all play nice with dispatch later too as well. Yes.
So from a record storage standpoint, is the record storage housed in there with the sheriff's department, or is it a cloud-based storage system?
It's a server-based storage.
Okay, that you host?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And your data is your data. I mean, obviously, if there was some kind of way that if the chief decided he didn't like the software and he wanted to disengage from that, you know, it's not like he's going to lose any of his data. That's his data. We're not going to keep any of your data. We're actually able to provide you with a large database of persons because we have that information already on our jail software. The nice thing about the software is if we pair it together, we can share reports. So if you have a burglary and theft that occurs here in Lindsborg, and he wants to let us know, hey, we had this last night, we can access that. We can do the same thing with them. So this will help kind of tie our county together law enforcement wise, be able to make us communicate better without having to pick up the phone. You're gonna see what I see. So that's why we started branching out to this project.
Chief, don't the cars have laptops?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Well, it looks like you have some
And the sheriff's office doesn't either yet. Our plans are to implement that in 2020 after we implement the software ourselves with our agency. So there could be another sub-licensee agreement that we could reach as well. I just have to talk with them and see what they decide they want to do.
I'll wait for somebody else to pay for it and get it all set up. Then I'll write in on it.
Are there any other questions or discussion?
Yes, are there any confidentiality protects in there?
Since they're sworn law enforcement officers, there shouldn't be anything that would be where it's a confidentiality problem. I mean, the cases, you can seal cases. If the chief doesn't want me to see a sex crime or something that they're working, we don't have to see it. We can do the same as well. We're looking more for our problem people in this county, they don't stay on borders of city limits, they travel. So this is a good way that we can help track them a little bit better, track our missing property, things like that. Should help us aid in getting your guys' property back to you when it's left.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, I'll see. David?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Rick?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. Tim, are you going to talk about?
I thought I'd drag you this one.
EMS service has received a request from a company called Oculus for negotiation of lower rates for ambulance transports and supplies. I reviewed the contract, chiefs reviewed it, and also the city attorney. The reimbursement levels that they are recommending is 100%, well, depending on the CPT code ranges, but those between A0001 or 0001 through A0999 would be reimbursed at 100%. Other services at 60% of Medicare payment, and then those that are not listed as Medicare reimbursement paid at 20% of billed charges. While contractually there's no specific issues with the contract itself, discussion between the chief and I in reviewing this contract is we don't see this as benefiting the EMS department. While it's hard to say how many or forecast what the revenue loss would be on this, the EMS or the ambulance service itself will have a net revenue of about $3,000. When we start thinking about replacing ambulances at what the last one was $170,000. Maintaining the building, any capital expenditures there, supply expenses. It doesn't make sense to be cutting a revenue stream to enter into this agreement. While the recommendation is for a motion to approve the contract with Occunet, the follow-up request on that is that instead of voting for it, that you would vote in the negative on that. That way we're not getting into a double negative situation. You'd have an affirmative or a motion to approve it, but then the request would be to vote the motion down. Just a little clearer from a record-keeping standpoint. In other words, if you, Bill, help me out here. Who knows what I'm trying to say?
Well, you don't know what you, it's a double negative. If you make the motion to deny or to not accept the contract, then you have to vote yes on a no vote. So you're saying you would prefer to vote no on a yes vote.
Correct.
And it's easier to track through the minutes. For that matter, you don't even have to bring it forward.
That's
Nobody
true.
wants- If nobody wants to make the motion to support the contract, you'll just die.
That's easiest for them.
That sounds easy. Okay?
I think it'd be appropriate to ask if there was a motion from anyone on the council to put this on the table.
Okay, is there a motion from anybody who's not with them? No, okay, we're not with them.
Thank you very much.
Hearing none, thank you, Tim. Convention District Bureau brochure.
It is time once again to do our annual purchase of visitor's guides. We have in the past purchased 10,000 a year, which seems to be a good number for us to get us through 12 months. Due to the fact that we did a really good partnership with Certified Folders, and I was able to purchase at an auction what would have cost us several $1,000s for about like $280 insertion in brochure racks in the Kansas City Metro to Topeka, the I-70 corridor, and also in the Wichita area. Didn't really think through the fact that it would take as many brochures as it did, like I had no clue how many. And he came and said, I need 5,000 to start with, and I went, ah. So anyhow, so we've kind of pushed this and worked it and gotten through. We typically order these in late August. We ordered these in late August, and it's time to order them again already. We're down to about 300 is all. So I am just needing your permission to go ahead and place that order. I don't anticipate that we will go through more than that 10,000 quantity this year. If we would, it would be an unusual year. Maybe with a successful centennial, we will. I don't know. But my goal right now would be to purchase the 10,000 for the $3,449 from Mennonite Press. You will see that there are only 2 bids before you, and the reason that this is, we have asked for multiple bids in the past, and because Mennonite Press continues to win the bid every year, I've had several companies just say that they're not wanting to spend the time out even giving us a bid. Mennonite Press has come in well within our budget, and this year, as you can see, much lower than the other companies. So.
I'd like to make the motion to approve the purchase of 10,000 brochure visitor guides in the amount of $3,449.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve purchase of the visitors, Convention Visitors Bureau Guide. Any discussion?
Do we need to mention that from Mennonite Press?
Oh, well, except that the only other bid, 10,000, is $6,195. But yes, I would ask that the record reflect that's for 2 Mennonite Press.
Any other discussion? David?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Jody? Yes.
Yes.
Holly, thank you. Workers' compensation, Mary.
We've had a good relationship with Kansas Municipal Insurance Trust, providing our work comp insurance. They've been able to keep the experience mod down at 0.74 this year. The last 2 years it's been 0.73. I don't know exactly how to explain the experience law, but it means that we need a discount over what a normal rate would be of about 25%. And because of our experience and going through various training and other factors, we're also able to get a 10% discount overall on our insurance. So this has been very workable, very helpful, and we've been able to keep the costs very consistent. The actual rates per category have gone down in the past few years, so based upon higher payroll, we're still able to get our insurance for a lower amount overall. And what we're looking at for this year, which I would request that you approve for the 2019 workers' comp insurance, is $22,675.
For your motion? To approve this?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
So, motion's been made to approve, and second, to, Kansas Municipal Insurance Trust. All right. Any discussion? Hearing none. Steve? David?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Rick?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. The motion does pass. Next item is the contract with Federal Consulting.
In November of 2018, we approved, or no, you approved, you approved a contract with Federico Consulting for governmental relations and advocacy services from November 2018 through December 31, 2019. At that time, only the cost of service for 2018 was encumbered. So at this point in time, asking that the balance in the contract in the amount of $24,000 be encumbered for governmental relation services with Federico Consulting.
Motion to encumber $24,000 for governmental relations services with Federico Consulting.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve this contract with Federico Consulting. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. Dave?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Rick?
Yes.
All right. Finishes the new business, is there any executive session?
No executive session.
Are there any others?
Yes, I want to, everybody should have received the Kansas Government Journal at their location this evening. A couple of articles I want to point out. One is on page 302. It is the impact of the demand transfer losses. Beginning in 2001, the demand transfers, which are local ad valorem tax reduction fund, city county revenue sharing, and then special city county highway funds, began being reduced. City or LADTRF was beginning in 2004, no transfer, and the same with city county revenue sharing. 2009, there was a full reduction to zero in the special city county highway fund. And the total impact over that 18-year time period has been almost $2.6 billion to cities and counties within the state of Kansas. I bring that up partly because it's a loss of revenue to us as a city to operate. The impact to us is right around $250,000 a year. For us, that's about 10 mills of property tax a year. When you also consider that in the context of operating under a property tax lid, it makes it rather burdensome to operate and provide the services that are expected and demanded by the citizens of the community. So please take a look at that in detail. The other is actually on page 304, so the next article. One of the
What page are you going to say?
304, just flip the page, is talking about shrinking tax base. You have big box stores wanting to change the appraisal method for how they are appraised. Basically, there's 3 avenues to do it. There's market value of the property, income stream, and I'll turn it off the top of my head, I can't remember. Well, the big box stores, because of the nature of the store, say, well, we need to be categorized differently because if we move out of a building, essentially it's an empty store. They call it dark store valuation. So like it was an empty store doing nothing because they say they have a hard time selling, etc. While in Lindsborg we do not have any big box stores. When you look at a countywide basis, we do in McPherson. As citizens of McPherson County, if that valuation declines and it goes through an example here in the article, that cost or that loss of sales tax base to maintain that same budget just get transferred to residential property owners and reduces the property tax burden on the big box companies. So please take the time to read that, if you would, please.
Yeah. Yes, I think you should.
Just a little humorous thing here. We have one of our biggest, as you're aware, we're on YouTube and Facebook Live. Well, one of our biggest fans that watches every council meeting lives in Garden Grove, California. It's my wife's aunt. Every night when I get home after a meeting, I have a note on Facebook from her. So this is a shout out to Cheryl Wessel.
Hi, Cheryl.
Thanks for watching.
Is she our only viewer?
Okay, are there any others? No? All right.